Hey guys, so today we are here for the parenting tag update, and I did this video a long time ago, but someone asked me to do an updated version of it, so Alan and I are gonna do it. Last time I just did it, but I'm making Alan do it today, even though he doesn't want to. The first question is pro-life or pro-choice. So for me, I don't know, what are you?
I'm somewhere in the middle. It's tough to say for me, but probably a little bit more towards pro-choice, but not too much. And just like I said, it's tough for me.
I used to be pro-choice, and over the years I feel like I'm starting to lean more towards pro-life, but I'm not against people that like do it either. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like
I mean, like the religious side of me is obviously the other way. It's, you know, pro-life, but yeah, I understand there's a lot of situations and you can't go through each situation, and so it's just kind of messy. So I understand that people are going to do what they're going to do, and it's not right for someone to tell someone else what they have to do. And I understand it's wrong, but that's their life. People are going to do wrong things a lot in life, and you have to let them do whatever they want. They only have one life.
Question number 2 is baby wearing. So baby wearing, I love, but none of my kids really like it. Elena liked it when she was older. Kaden, I'm trying to get there, but I mean, if you like to do it, go for it, but I'm not huge on it.
Convenient when you go to certain places, but overall, usually the stroller's better.
Okay, number 3 is circumcision. Because I have a little boy, I don't think I'm going to comment on this because I don't really think that I want to share what my views are on it.
Like, again, it's up to you. Do whatever you want with your children.
Number 4 is adoption. Okay, so this one is interesting because I've always wanted to adopt since I was really little. And it's something that's still in the air. I've talked to Elena about it, and she's like, yeah, let's adopt, because I always tell her about like how kids don't have homes and stuff, but obviously there's a lot more that goes into it than just adopting. So I am totally for it. I just don't know if, when, or how that might happen in the future.
I think adopting is a great thing to do if you can do it, but I also think it's tough in a lot of different ways. I think the most ideal situation is actually when your kids are older, like college or even after college. Then you can bring someone in, and then they have older siblings that aren't always there, but are there for support if they need it. But that's just my opinion.
So you'd adopt after your kids are already out of the house?
Yeah.
What's the point of that? Then they have no siblings.
Well, they will have the attention, number one. They have the siblings whenever they come home, holidays, weekends, whatever it might be. And then you have your attention on them, and it's not too messy where it's like, oh, you love your kids more than me or whatever. You know, it can get really ugly. Hopefully it never gets there, but, you know, if you do adopt, I think a good time is when you can focus on that child.
No, if I adopted, I'd want my kids all close in age, so they all grew up together, like 2 years apart. The next one is baby piercing. I don't agree on doing it when they're infants. I think that you should wait until they are older and can decide for themselves. Obviously, with Elena, we waited until she was like 3, I think, and then we were in Palm Springs on vacation, and she really wanted to do it with her cousins, so we said, yeah, go ahead, and she did it.
My family traditionally does it when they're babies, but I like the way we did it. But at the same time, they're not going to remember when they're babies. So, I mean, you could, but it is painful. It's tough for them to understand. But the good thing is that when you wait for when they're older, like Elena kind of remembers it, I think. Not fully, but I think somewhat. So it was good. Good experience.
Yeah, by the way, I have that video of her getting her ears pierced, so if you want to see it, I'll link it down in the description box below and you guys can check it out. She was so brave. She did awesome. Breast milk versus formula. So I am totally for breast milk. I don't think there's anything wrong with formula. With Elena, I'd say that I was probably more pro breast milk, and with Kaden, after having mastitis this last time and seeing how difficult breastfeeding can be, I can see why women would opt for formula. So my opinion on that's changed just a little bit. I would do either or with my next child, but I would obviously still try to always breastfeed first.
Did a really good job with breastfeeding our 2 children so far.
Cry it out method versus other. So I don't believe in cry it out until they're at least 4 months old. And I did do it with Elena, and we're doing it with Kaden right now. But when I say cry it out, I don't mean let them sit in the bed and scream their head off for a half an hour. I mean like just like fuss and sit in there, and if they go to sleep, great, and if they start screaming, then go in there, comfort them, and then put them back down, or just go over there and kind of like pat them to know that you're there. I don't want my children to feel abandoned.
It's tough going through it right now, and it's sad hearing them cry, not helping them right away. But I think in the long term, it's good for them.
Number 8 is spanking. I don't believe in spanking. Do not spank your children. That's just my opinion. I don't believe in it. I believe in there's timeouts. Whatever discipline that you did, the consequence should match. I believe in talking to your kids, taking things away. I think there's so many more alternatives than to spanking your kids. And actually, when I was in college, I'm a child development major. We researched this a ton in our classes, and we found out that there's truly no benefits to spanking your kids. And in a lot of instances, it actually harms development.
Spanking drives fear into them, and you don't want your children to have fear. You want them to have understanding. So it's about communication and understanding. And there's other things you can do to punish besides discipline physically.
Although I have to say, we did spank Elena one time. And it was because, I think Alan did it, and it was because she ran out into the cars. And she was doing it repeatedly over and over and over. And it wasn't hard, but it like needed to catch her attention. And she almost got hit by a car one time. So we like yanked her, and then Alan like spanked her. And she never did it again. So I mean, it worked, but I don't condone doing it as like a punishment for every single wrong thing that they do. So the next one's co-sleeping. I totally love co-sleeping. I wish we could do it personally. I just don't think that it's for us. I don't like co-sleeping because I tend to want to do a lot of things when my kids go to sleep at night and get things finished and edit and that kind of stuff. And if they're in bed with me, I just feel like they don't sleep as well. They wake up when we move. Any noise that we make, they wake up. So right now, Caden's in the room with us, but he's not in the bed with us, and we're gonna start transitioning him out, which is the same thing we did with Elena. I like co-sleeping when they're a little bit older, like Elena's age. I love when she comes in bed with us and stuff, but obviously she's older. She can go to sleep on her own. She wakes up later, and so yeah, I guess I like it when they're older, but not necessarily when they're babies.
I like having them nearby, but at the same time, you sleep way better when they're not in the room. So it's important to have them out of the room. Sorry, kids.
You're always afraid to roll on them, too.
Yeah, too. That's important. If they're right behind, like, sometimes Elena will just be in bed with me. I won't even know. So when the morning just come in, I won't even know. I'll turn over, and it almost startles me because I'm worried I'll, like, crush her finger or something, So I'm kind of afraid, especially babies.
Homeschool, public, private, or charter school. Okay, so Alan and I are both teachers, if you guys don't know. I personally not for homeschool. I could never homeschool my kids. I like to help them outside of school, but I could never actually homeschool them myself because it just would not work well. She's going to kindergarten next year, so the private school, public school thing is something that we kind of tossed up, which I wanted her to go to private school, but she really wanted to go to public school because that's where her cousins go, and it's a really good public school, so I can see the benefit of both. I personally wanted her to kind of go where she wanted, even though I wanted private for her, but I figured with the stuff that she was missing going to public school, like religion and extracurriculars, that we could make up outside of school. So that's the only reason I was okay with it. So we are going to be doing public school, but I love private school. I'm not a huge fan of charter schools. To be honest, I don't know a ton about them, but I know from being in the teaching profession that I've heard parents love charter schools, but teachers hate them.
I think no matter what, it's important to have a good environment. It's not necessarily about what kind of school, but it's the environment you have, it's your friends, the teachers. And I think being teachers is important to understand that parents, teachers, and the student have a relationship, all three, and they all need to be working all the time, and that's how you advance.
Number 11 is vaccinations. I hate to even comment on this because people have such strong opinions, and if the comments start getting ridiculous, I mean, like, let's just all respect each other's viewpoints. If the comments start getting ridiculous, I'm gonna disable the comments. Okay, so here's my stance on vaccinations. I believe in vaccinations. They do, however, with me saying that, I am worried about them. I don't think that in the last few years, with the amount of vaccinations that they give kids nowadays, that we've tested to make sure that they're 100% safe, especially the MMR shot. That one does worry me a little bit, especially with autism rates being higher in boys. I know that the study where the doctor said that vaccines cause autism was a faulty study, but still all of the research after that, regardless of whether or not it causes autism, that there's a lot of research showing just how bad they are for you and the stuff that's in the shots. So yes, it does worry me, but at the same time, it worries me that they would get the disease too. So I do vaccinate my kids.
I think everyone has different opinions, but I think it's important to do it. It's just crazy to see the increase in the amount of vaccinations in the last 20, 30 years have been dramatic. But I also think those vaccinations are important because, for example, like I had chickenpox, but my kids never will have them, and I think that's a good thing. But it's hard to see the long-term side effects, which can be very dangerous. But you know, it's kind of like, where's that line? You know, you always want to protect your kids, so it's tough to see. But I think you just go with what the medical field and do your own research, and everyone has their best opinion on that, and that's what you go with.
Number 12 is medicating children. I think that they mean just like giving your kids medicine. I think that's what they mean. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's important. But it's also like kids that have like ADD and things like that, you know, and does that medicine, there's a line there, right? And I mean, yeah, I understand it. If it's out of control, yeah, maybe to some degree. Maybe not so like in heavy doses, you know, but I think it's important to medicate.
Okay, so like giving medicine to children, I don't see a problem with it. Medicine's there for a reason. I know some religions don't give kids medicine for certain purposes. Though, with having said that, don't give my kids medicine all the time. If they have a cold, they don't get it unless they're sleeping at night or they're going to school to help them throughout the day. If they have headaches or cuts or pains or fevers, whatever it is, I don't give it to them unless it's really painful or their fever's super high.
Number 13, cloth versus disposable diapers.
Alan's trying to get this video done, obviously. Okay, so I am pro disposable diapers. I would not do cloth ever. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to wash it. I'm sorry, environment. I'm disposable diapers.
I know it's a good idea, but sorry. Yeah, disposable for sure.
And the last one, question number 14, is store-bought baby food versus homemade. I homemade all of Elena's baby food, and I plan to do the same for Kaden. And I think cost-wise, it's better. I think it tastes better. When I was making the homemade baby food for Elena, I tasted the store-bought baby food, and to be honest, I thought it tasted like especially like the meat ones. Oh, so nasty. So I do home make all of my kids' food.
Kayla did a really good job making the icicles, the flavored icicles. I think that's something really good for them, even before they have teeth. You just kind of gnaw on that and you get the flavor. So far, Caden's had like a rice pudding or some oatmeal, exactly, and the vanilla oatmeal. He likes it. He eats it a lot. It's really cool to be able to feed him, even though I only fed him once. And the girls feed him all the time. Kayla and Elena love feeding Kaden, and Kaden, it's kind of a cool experience to see.
So that is it for the parenting tag video. I hope you guys liked the updated version of this. Like I said, feel free to leave comments down below, but if it gets crazy, I'm going to delete the comment section and disable it so that way I don't have fighting, because the last time I did this, it was really, really bad. I also don't want to be attacked for my opinions. Everyone has their own opinion, so it is what it is. So I definitely just wanted to do this video again since we now have a boy and a girl. And before I did this video, I think either Elena was really little or it was before I even had a baby. So it's interesting to see how your viewpoints change. And I'll also link my first parenting tag video that I did in the description box below so you guys can see that if you want. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.